Hello there guys, and welcome back to Sid Meier's Civilization 5, still continuing as England and trying to get ourselves that naval domination victory. At the end of the last video I noticed that the Incans had stealthily popped up another city right here on this piece of land, probably to get the gems more than anything, possibly silver and gems possibly. It's not too much of a threat to me, really, where it is. We will be going to war with them very soon. Worst case scenario, I should be able to reach them with my bombers, but I don't think this city is ever really going to pose a threat to me anyway, so I'm not really going to be paying much attention to it. I still have this great engineer. I haven't found anything useful to use that on yet. I was kind of hoping we would get another wonder. Now, it is quite possible that we will finish this particular game on this video. If not, most certainly the next one. There's only one city left to get, which is Cusco, the Incan capital. Problem we do have is it has quite a lot of enemy boats in front of it, so we are going to have to be careful. So I'm just letting this turn process. Now, what I was doing is holding back a few of my boats because I was trying to wait for electronics to finish, get some money in the bank, so we could upgrade some of our ships of the line to battleships. Now, oh, we have a golden age. Now, even though nobody else actually has any battleships yet, our ships of the line are technically better than any other boat on the map, but it would be nice if we can upgrade them just so they're a bit stronger. A lot of our ships of the line have got quite a lot of really useful upgrades, and I don't want to lose them in silly maneuvers, so anything we can do to upgrade would be absolutely fantastic. What I would like to do is I am going to produce a couple more great war bombers so that we can put them on our carrier when we can build them. I would like to get another... Oh, they are moving some units in. I would like to get a couple of melee units down here so we could potentially deal with any problems from this city. We do know that the Incans do intend to attack us, so I think what I may do, for 130 gold, upgrade these guys to the Great War Infantry, and then I will move them down there towards that city. It might take them a while to get there, but at least we'll have a potential of nabbing it if we choose to. York has now finished its factory. I think we'll go ahead and build another Great War Bomber. It's a little bit slow, but it's not the end of the world. In fact, we may even be able to change some of our production here. If we go for production focus, not sure how much that helps. We've gone down to 9. I'm not too bothered about cities growing now because of how close we are to the end game. It's almost certainly worth building another Great War Bomber here just for speed, and here we will probably there isn't an awful lot that's worth doing. Let's go for a stock exchange because we do have quite a lot of gold here in Nottingham, mainly because of course it has our trade routes. We finished our cargo ship in Berlin, so we have lots of cargo ships now. Berlin has decent science and decent money, so we could put in anything that will help those. Unfortunately, there isn't much of either. So I think what we will do is, we'll just go for research. Probably isn't actually an awful lot of point in building anything. Graz has finished the factory. Again, let's just put that into research. Let's see if we can get this down a couple more turns. We could put some into wealth as well. Do we really need the money? Not especially. Let's just go into research here. So that makes things much stronger for us. Barcelona, again, let's convert your production into research. Not really bothered about building things at the moment. So what I am going to do is I am just going to go through all of the units that I don't want to move. The bombers can go to sleep for now. I don't need to do anything with those. I'm literally just going to get all of my other units to sleep just for another turn or two until we get our electronics science upgrade. Now, what have we got here? We've got a trebuchet, which I think is the one that we were returning from over there. So we'll pop that over the river, which will use all of its movements. It's quite safe where it is. Get our admiral to wait up. We have a privateer here. Not too sure why. Oh, that was the one that was repairing, of course, because it was originally in here. I think what we'll do, actually, is we'll take this privateer over here. And we can actually use that to take this city out. Now, do we have the range upgrade here? No, we don't. But we might be able to do something with that at some point in the future. Cargo ships at Nottingham. Not bothered about my own cities, prefer not to trade with other civilizations. We want to go for maximum number of gold. At the same time, we really want to avoid sort of having to go through enemy lines if we can. Ragusa would be quite nice if we could get there. Doesn't give us a huge amount of gold, but at least it's relatively safe to get to, so that's not a problem. We have another cargo ship here in Edinburgh. I think what we will do is we will actually try and trade from here if we can, if there's any safe places that we can get to. What's this city-state that we have down here? Kaisel. Can we get here quite safely? Would we get any money from them for doing so? They're probably too far away for us to trade with. But like I said, we do need to be careful because we don't want to run into too much enemy territory. We could potentially trade with Kathmandu, so let's do that. It just means going around the island. And we have another cargo ship here in Nottingham. Where can we trade with you without going through enemy territory? This is what we need to be careful of. Let's just have a quick look who we have around. You could potentially get to Zurich, actually, if we don't have one established there already, which we don't. So let's go to Zurich. Put some religious pressure on those. We have a cargo ship here at Berlin. Now, this is potentially a little risky. Let's just have a look if we were to trade with Hamburg. Would we make any money from that? Would it be worth our while? 19 gold. So, yeah, we'll do that. It's relatively close. We now have all 7 trade routes set up and a fair, decent amount of gold coming in. So let's move on to the next turn. We're so very, very close to getting electronics now. I wish we could have got it on this next turn and then we could have started upgrading some of those ships. But it's good with good happiness. Fairly decent amount of culture coming in. Good faith, even though we're not really using that at all. Tourism, again, not really all that important. Zurich actually wanted a trade route, so we've gained ourselves some additional reputation with Zurich, so they will now become our allies if they weren't already to begin with. Obviously still some barbarians on the map, so we're only one turn away from electronics. Like I said, it is a bit of a shame that we did not get it on that turn, but I'm not too worried. So for the final time on this game, I'm just going to literally fly through these units and just tell them to do nothing on this turn. These trebuchets can now go to sleep. We don't really need those to do anything. You can go to rest. In fact, actually, how long would it take that trebuchet to roll itself over here? A few turns. They do have some units close by. And of course I have this ship here. Now unfortunately this ship doesn't have the range upgrade, which is a little bit of a shame, because we could certainly use that to try and take them out, but we'll keep our eye on things. Great War Infantry, that's right. You guys were definitely going to make your way down here. It'll take you a few turns, but you will get there eventually. So on to the next turn. And that will be electronics completed. Or apparently we have another unit that needs orders. So I just told you to sit there, did I? That's fine, actually, for now. And you are going to wait around here because you'll probably be dealing with Vilcus when the time comes. So Genghis Khan is making peace with various city-states. We are being denounced by Austria. Fair enough. Not that it really makes much of a difference. Germany is getting a little bit upset because we are now friendly with Zurich. Oh, well, never mind. Get over it. So, I don't really think we have much of a worry about a counterattack from most of the other civilizations. Most of them are too small to really bother. Austria could potentially mount a counterattack. They certainly are the biggest civ now behind the Incans. Salzburg, they do have a great general here. They have a few units. I'm not terribly convinced that they could do anything here to really put the pressure on Vienna. There's electronics finished. We also have another great engineer. Absolutely wow. If we have a look over here, yeah, Salzburg, and what else have they got? Yeah, I don't think they've got an awful lot that could put pressure on us, so I'm not too worried about what they could try. I'm going to get chemistry done because it just needs doing anyway. Now, we can now start to consider upgrading some of these ships of the lines. Now, these are the ones that have logistics on them, so these are the ones which I definitely want to upgrade to battleships first. So there is that one. This one also has logistics, so you're going to get upgraded to a battleship. Now, any of the ones that have the range increase on them, like this one for example. So you, I definitely want to upgrade to a battleship. Do you have the range increase? Yes, you do. So I'd like to upgrade you to a battleship. We're going to do as many as we can. And you also notice battleships don't require iron, unlike the ships of the line do. So we're actually getting iron back for converting them into battleships. The gold cost isn't that bad. 280 gold. We've probably got enough money to do this with almost all of our ships of the line. So, do you know what? Until we run out of money, that's exactly what we're going to do. We'll just bring the Admiral back so that he is safe. We'll park him up there. What else do we have? Wow, they really are amassing an army. Now, the question is, they could be coming for us, or they could very well be going for the Germans. We're definitely going to have to keep an eye on them. They could be actually heading north up towards Seville, which is a real possibility. Definitely going to try and get as many of these upgraded as I can. You're a little bit far away, but we will definitely upgrade as many of our other ships as possible. We're going to give you the upgrade. We are going to move you into friendly territory, and we're going to give you the upgrade. Stat units, we now have 2 great engineers that I can't really do anything else with right now. So I think what we'll actually do is we will construct a couple of manufactories just to give us some additional production. Because I don't think there's any point in me saving them right now to actually... I don't think there's any point in me saving them to use for anything else. So production's quite good here now. It's very unlikely we're going to get any new wonders. So we're going to go on to the next turn. Definitely need to keep my eye on the Incans and see what they're up to. I mean, we know they were plotting against us. We found this out from one of our spies. But, no, they've actually gone to war with Germany. Which, is half expected. I'm very, very tempted now to actually just go on them. Because they're already at war with somebody else. Which potentially means that their attention is going to be a little bit distracted. Of course, my fleet is a little far away. I do need to move in on them, but I think overall we are actually good. You know what? That is exactly what I'm going to do. There's no point beating around the bush. We've got what we need to get. We are going to speak to him, and we are going to declare war. He's got a couple of allied city-states, Leventa and Kiev, and 2 trade routes, 3 trade routes, but they're his trade routes. Now, let's just have a quick look at that again. Leventa and Kiev, can we actually get them on our side before we go to war? Leventa, we'd need much more gold than we have. Kiev, we'd need a lot more gold. So it's unlikely we're going to get either of those on our side. So that's not too much of a problem. So let's go back into there. Declare war. Boom. There we go. Now he's unhappy. But that is absolutely fine. So, and our city-states declare war on him as well. So it is all good at the end of the day. So we do have this place to worry about down here. So what I'm going to do is going to take one of my battleships. Now the good thing with battleships is, first of all, they should have a range attack of 3 by default. 1, 2, 3, as you can see. So they have a ranged attack of 3. They also have a perk called indirect fire. Now, what indirect fire allows you to do is fire over obstacles. I don't think it does it work on mountains? I think it does actually. So there are some obstacles that you can't normally fire over, such as hills, forests, and mountains. Units with indirect fire, such as battleships and artillery, can fire over obstacles, but providing there's another unit that has line of sight with the target. Now, the good thing about this, it means I can actually take this battleship down here. I can park it right here next to Vilcas and bombard the absolute snot out of this place, and he can't really do anything about it. Got a little privateer sitting down here ready to nab it at a moment's notice. So we now have an awful lot of ships here. We are going to upgrade the last one, but we're going to move everything else back over. Just before I go in, there was a cargo ship down here somewhere. It may well have moved. I'm just having a quick look around. Yeah, I can't see it now. Like I said, there was an Incan cargo ship at some point, so unfortunately we've missed our opportunity there. I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to keep this guy... Actually, no, I've changed my mind. I'm going to move this guy up over here. Vilnius is friendly. I'm going to take this guy. Now, we should... No, you can't upgrade in an allied city. But I'm going to move this guy over here and upgrade him. He's out of move, so... what I'd like to do, ideally, we've got to be careful, of course, because Leventa is an enemy city-state, but Vilnius has a lot of privateers here. And I'm going to keep 1 or 2 ships just on this side in case they do try and sneak any units down over this way. Now, we've still got a fairly good line of sight from our submarines that are parked here. And we can see that most of their naval forces have actually now moved out. So they really are throwing everything they have at Frankfurt with the look of things. Frankfurt has already lost an awful lot of its health. So I'm going to move as many of my units forward as possible. Now, this is one of our battleships that was a highly upgraded ship of the line, and it had the +1 range. So this now actually has a range of 4, which makes it the most overpowered thing in the world ever. If I suddenly fire at this privateer, there we go. Sank completely. Gotta love stupid upgrades. We can do the same thing over here. We have a range of 4, so we can quite easily sink that. I'm starting to think that we're a little bit overpowered right now, but I don't really mind. Of course, we're not attacking Frankfurt. We're a little bit out of range. This guy doesn't have the range upgrade. Doesn't matter if I get close to Frankfurt, of course, because we are not at war with Germany at the moment. So it is literally just about getting close enough to do bombard damage. I am going to move the Great Admiral forward just so that he is safe. Yerevan is... How much more influence would we need to become allies with them? Doesn't actually say, or does it? We need another 36 influence. Yeah, it's probably not worth it. I mean, they're not at war with us. It would have been nice to get them on side, but I don't think we need to worry too much about that. So let's continue to move as many of these ships forward as possible, particularly the ones that do have the range upgrade. What I also must remember, but I nearly forgot there as well, is we do have our ships with logistics. So we do have some ships that can actually fire twice and move twice, like this fellow here. So let's move you forward. You can actually take another shot. I almost forgot about that completely. That has exposed our Admiral a little bit there, but we can cover him up. We'll move forwards with you. I've just used all of your movement, so that wasn't particularly wise. You fired twice, so you can move back on to the Admiral. And then we're just going to move all the rest of these ships pretty much as far forward as they can. So we have an amazingly stupid amount of firepower available to us now. Still a privateer left, of course, that we need to keep our eye on. We are going to move everything as far forward as we can. You can't really do anything from there. We're going to move you around to the other side anyway. So let's go on to the next turn. It would have been nice to get a carrier involved in this. We probably still can, but we're going to need some bombers for it as well. Why can't I actually see Frankfurt? It's not actually appearing on the map for some reason. It's not actually showing as a city, which is very, very strange. Maybe it's because it's in a hill, and the entire thing is covered by a hill. But that is really odd for Frankfurt not to be showing there. Clearly still exists, just we can't actually see it. So Vancouver, which is one of our allied city-states, is actually attacking Machu from the side here, which is good because it's blockading it. They're also doing some damage to their privateers. It does appear that we have a few enemy units close by, but that isn't going to be a great problem either. Now that one's near Madrid. We could quite easily finish that off with this submarine, so we will be doing that. We've also completed chemistry. So we're going to take our submarine. We are going to move a little bit closer so we are in range, and we are going to blow those guys up. There we are. We are going to choose production at Edinburgh. Edinburgh has completed a Great War Bomber. I think what we actually want here now is... we'll build our carrier here, I think. We have finished our other Great War Bomber here at London. London is going to build for us... Let's just put London onto research for the time being, because I don't think we need an awful lot of other units or buildings built. Let's have a look what else could we go for. Now, it would be nice to try and get some of the other ships. It would be nice to get destroyers, but we do have to go through quite a lot of science to get to that because we are quite behind on the tree. It's very unlikely that we're going to get to a point where we can get ourselves nuclear subs. Missile cruisers are well beyond our reach. They are miles away. Nuclear submarines... Where's the nuclear subs? They're somewhere in this tree around here. But even nuclear subs are quite far away. Would be nice to get some of this stuff, but it really is just out of reach for us on this game, unless I drag it out stupidly beyond what I need to do. So we'll just go along this route anyway, and yeah, I very much doubt we're going to get the opportunity to use any other units other than the carrier, which I'm currently trying to build. So we have all of these units here now. So we're going to do the best we can to completely sink this fleet and save Frankfurt if we can. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. They do have a lot of units, but I don't think they're really going to cause any issue to us at all. So let's just... Oh, no. That's because obviously I'd be moving into German territory, which I don't want to do. Even though you wouldn't think they'd care if I'm actually helping them out, but... So these boats are going to do very, very well. Let's move you around to the other side. So most of these embarked land units are very, very easy to sink. So I'm going to move all of my other units around. Now, do I start taking some shots with them? You're slightly out of range of anybody. I could move you further forward, but then all I'd be doing is giving the... enemy an opportunity to take a shot at you, so I'm not going to bother doing that. You do have a double shot, so let's fire you and sink that privateer instantly. Obviously, Cologne we've got here was a German city at one point, which has been taken. We are going to move you up to here, which is about as far forward as you can safely move. We're also going to keep our Great Admiral beneath one of these ships if possible. Now, one thing I did forget to do, of course, is we've got all of these submarines down here which could be getting involved in the fight. So we are going to start shooting at these ships and taking them out because they're nice and easy. You're in a bit of a predicament there, but we do have a lot of submarines close by, so we're going to do as much damage to as many of these privateers as we possibly can without putting ourselves into harm's way. And these submarines should be able to sink privateers in a single shot. So you can already see that the Incans are already losing a huge amount of their armies here. Vilnius is really attacking Leventa hard, which is nice for us. Vancouver will probably be able to take out that privateer with little to no issue, but you know what? I'm going to go over here and give them a helping hand because I might as well get the gold and XP for doing it. Why not? What else do we have that needs orders? We have a Great War Bomber here. You are going to sit still for the time being. You're going to get upgraded to a battleship. We have another battleship here at Stockholm. So let's start moving you forwards towards the fight. Still quite a lot of stuff on fire on Stockholm that I can't do anything with. These guys look like they are trying to abandon. I would like to take this city out, but I probably won't need to. But I'm certainly going to sink your unit to avoid you getting in my way right now. In fact, let's just have a look at the range on our war bombers. They may be able to reach it. Oh, they are one... hex too short on the range. That is a real shame. They can't quite reach. In order to increase their range, I'd actually need possibly radar. Allows you to build the bomber, paratroopers, airport. Increases air unit... increases air unit capacity. I was almost sure that there was a tech that allowed you to increase the range, or the operational range of your aircraft. It's just 1 hex short to be able to do that. What I could do, potentially, and I can afford it, is buy a carrier here. I don't need a second one, so I'm going to cancel this one and change production and just go into research. So we have a carrier over here. Can't do anything with that carrier on this turn, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Move this Great War Bomber over to London. So now all 4 Great War Bombers are here. Go on to the next turn. Obviously, I've got some of my land units that are still moving down towards this city. It would be nice if we could take it out. Germany's been a little bit cheap. Would be nice if they offered me a little bit more gold. No, you're not willing to. I mean, I have literally just saved Frankfurt from being, you know, destroyed and captured by the Incans, but fine, if you want to be tight, be like that. So, we're still making a fairly decent amount of gold. Vancouver's getting some of their ships pounded by Machu, which isn't too much of a problem. We do have an enemy near, so we'll have to check that out in a second or two. Happiness is dropping a little, but not to worry. We haven't lost any cargo ships yet. City-states are moving. Nobody doing anything particularly interesting. And then we'll be on to the barbarians. Certainly doing well on money. We'll do one more turn, and then we'll end it there. So you get a promotion, so we could give you 15% combat strength against naval units, or 25% combat bonus when attacking. Wolfpack is nearly always the way to go. Not that I really need it on most of these ships, because they're quite pathetically easy to sink at this point. But I am going to destroy the rest of their navy. I've also noticed up here they have a couple more ships. You're a little bit too far away, so we are going to start sinking these. Make sure I keep out of the range of any of their cities. Madrid has now finished its stock exchange. Going to research. Let's just get as much research done as quickly as we can. Frankfurt seems safe, but we are definitely going to be using some of our ships to sink some of theirs. There's another one down. You don't have a second shot. You can move forward and sink that Gatling gun. This submarine is in a perfect spot to take out that galleass. And all of a sudden it's not quite looking so good for the Incans. So we want to start moving our ships in, which we are definitely going to try and do. We've got to be careful. We don't want to put ourselves in a position where we become an easy target for any of their cities. I don't think they have any other units around that will pose a significant threat to us. Don't think anybody else other than us has any bombers right now. Typical. We couldn't quite make it. But that's fine. I'll park that battleship on you. And just move everyone else as far forward as they can while keeping them out of range. So who needs orders? You're going to sit there, as are you. You are going to do what now? I think what I might as well do, I certainly aren't going to need all of those battleships up there to deal with the Incan city, so I might just use these guys. You don't have the range upgrade, unfortunately. Oh, you do, of course, because you're a battleship, so you already have 3 by default. Keep forgetting that. Battleships have a range of 3 by default, so you can just sit far enough away. Privateer, probably not. Yeah, Privateer wouldn't be able to take that city out, unfortunately, so we will keep him out of range. You are going to come over here mainly just to have a little look at Leventa and what they're doing. You might as well start bombarding some of their land units. If anything else, it's free XP and free gold. There's definitely nothing wrong with that. So we have our carrier. I'm just going to move the carrier out of the city so I can see what I'm doing with it. We have 4 stationed aircraft here. What we're going to do is we're going to rebase these aircraft and put them all onto the carrier. Because aircraft do have a limited operational range. Now, I've just realised that the carrier is actually limited to a cargo capacity of 2. And I've forgotten about that because it used to be... It is 4 with an upgrade, and I cannot remember how that works now. Capacity may be boosted through promotion, so I think it's an actual promotion for the ship. Doesn't really matter, can't melee attack. It doesn't have a ranged attack either, so it is literally just a way to move your aircraft closer. So what I could do with this is I could move it over here, closer to Vilkas. Can't do anything with the aircraft on board at the moment because they've already used their movement this turn by getting on board the Great Bomber. You guys... I guess what I should have done, actually, which I will do now in London, is I'll just change production and just build another carrier. I don't really need one, but we'll do that anyway. We'll put you back to sleep for the time being. Carrier is going to do nothing this turn because it can't really do anything. We do have a sub here, and I don't really think you've got an awful lot to worry about over here. Although there is a conveniently placed caravel here, which you could sink, just to be annoying more than anything. That was most probably that enemy near warning. Yes, it was. So that's not a problem at all. Great War Bomber, once again, do absolutely nothing. And you have a bit of movement left. You're going to sit there. And that's pretty much that. Now, it might still take a little while to take Cusco out, because we do have to bombard it, and then we do need to get a melee unit over here at the moment, because all I have is battleships. I do have my my ironclad sat here in Stockholm, which will be enough to take it, but I think it's going to take a little while just to move in, soften up Cusco enough, just mop up the last few of these units. And as the game will be ending very, very shortly, I would like to show you guys the carriers in action. So we'll be using that on the next turn to try and take out Vilkas if we can. So the next video should most definitely be the last video in this series. That will be game over. Victory is so close now, I can smell it. So thanks again for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying the series, and I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye for now.